There's this one thing that for some reason I can't talk anybody else into getting interested in but me. And it's based on a story that Cary Grant and Tori did a while ago, where they had a baseball or a guy on a train who's a professional pitcher, rather, has a baseball, and he throws it backwards in the direction opposite to which the train is going. And he throws it at exactly the same speed that the train is traveling. So to a person on the side, the supposed myth is the ball would drop straight out of the air and just sit there on the ground. And so that's all well and good. They tested it, and it's possible and everything. But the thing is, I want to be the baseball. And my idea is that we would set up some sort of a low trailer sort of thing and put it on a truck or trailer behind a truck. And we would put a backward-facing slingshot, like, you know, out of surgical rubber tubing or bungee cords. And I would get into sort of a pod, or maybe just sit on a chair or something, and get fired backwards at the same rate that the truck is going forwards. Now, for some reason, insurance won't let me do this. You know, my problem with that, and the reason that I should be able to do it, is that, you know, we can deal with these things incrementally. Like, for example, would you let me do it at 5 miles an hour? Of course you would. You'd probably let me do it at 10 miles an hour. And if it's safe at 10 miles an hour and there's absolutely no problem, why not, you know, 15 or 20 or 50? You work your way up to it, and of course you can be in some sort of, like, if there's any kind of question, you can have protection, like be in a cage or a pod that you know won't that nothing bad can happen, and or we can also test Buster before doing it. Now, the thing that they're worried about, and this is where it got interesting for me, is that I started to break it down, and it's not the fall, it's the potential problem that you'll have if there's a mismatch in speed. If the bungee cord doesn't shoot you backwards at exactly the same speed that the truck is going forward. And so you know, you can set up this slingshot thing so it's right above the ground, so it's not the fall, it's about that mismatch. And what happens with mismatch, as I started to think about it, is mainly friction. Because once friction starts to come into the equation, the thing that touches the ground first is going to catch while the rest of you wants to keep going. And so you start to tumble. And if all this is happening really fast, then you tumble really fast and you break your bones in your head or whatever. But assuming that we've not got any kind of like curbs or obstacles like we do it out on a runway or something like that, if you don't have any friction, you've not got any kind of problem with tumbling. You're just going to slide. That's what they have. That's why they have motorcycle gear that is armored with plastic or leather, and if the motorcycle falls down, as long as you don't hit a curb or something, you're just going to slide. You're going to be fine. And so I, you know, reasoned that the other way to do it, of course, is like there's all sorts of different ways of removing friction, and that could be lots of lubrication, which would be quite funny and make for a good episode. And I don't know why the producers don't think that that's fun. But the other thing one could do is have something that is something like a ski or a shallow metal pan, and so you get, you know, fired to speed. If there's a mismatch of these velocities, you're just going to the pan will send out some sparks or something, or maybe it's a plastic thing. You're just going to slide. And so the end result of all this testing would be that in theory you could have a bus that could go by a bus stop and deliver passengers without even slowing down, which you know, may not be something that gets picked up by mass transit, I'm sure, in the near future, but it would be fun to try it.